Welcome to Data-Wise Discoveries. Today we are going to see the important concept in the Python, that is class. Okay, so there are mainly two types of programming language. Okay, so the first one is procedure proce- procedure programming language, and the second one is object oriented language. And today we are going to see about the basic concept of object oriented programming, and we are going to see the concept of OOPS, that is object oriented programming language. Okay, so this is OOPS, and the basic concept of OOPS is to map the real world object, right? So to represent in code, right? To represent the real life objects with code. Okay, so how these things are being done, we'll see in the we'll see by coding, by making our own class and making the objects out of it. Okay, so let me first give you an example of just an example for understanding this class. So we are making a class which is known as student information. So student information is a general class, right? Class is nothing but a blueprint from which the objects can be made. Okay, so this is nothing but like the design. So out of these designs, these r1 and r2 are the two objects. So it is the name given for these objects is roll number 1. So it consists all the information of the students, including their name, roll number, their curricular activities. All those things are stored in this object r1, and similarly the r2 is the object that consists all the informations of the students of roll number 2. Okay, so this is also object. So in order to this is a object. Okay, so in oops this oops uses class. Okay, class and object to represent the real world entities. We have already said it, and I'll write the basic of class. Okay, what is a class? So class is a nothing but a blueprint of objects. Okay, and it is a group of objects. Okay, why it is said so? So we will discuss in upcoming lectures. Okay, so this is also known as group of lectures, or it is used for creating a template. Okay, so creating templates. Okay, so this is also known as, this is also used for creating the templates. And our second thing is object. So object is nothing but a instance of a class. So instance of class is known as object. Out of that blueprint, we will make an object that will make real old entities out of it, and that is known as object. Okay, so what we need to understand in a class is that class is a collection of attribute and methods. So it is a group of attributes and methods. And what is attributes is you can just remember attributes as a variable, right? And methods as only the functions, right? When you write the function inside the class, and then we generally call that as method, not functions, right? So we will call the functions inside the class as method. Okay, and in our let me describe about more about these attributes. So attributes, what is attributes? Okay, it represent a variable. Okay, this is nothing but a variable which contains what it contains some value. Okay, so we have previously also seen about variables, so I will not go in deeper. I'll not discuss in this video about the variable. Okay, I have already made video regarding the variable. So, and the next is method. Okay, so method is another, it is also similar to function which performs specific task. Okay, the definition of method and functions is similar. Okay, so let me now make a class. Okay, this will be the our class. First of all, we need to write first in this keyword class, and the general rule is that we will capitalize the first letter of this class and then write the name of the class. Then we'll write the colon, and we will just write this in it. Okay, so I'll explain it later. Just copy this code. I discuss this part of code later in my video. Okay, so self dot name is I'll give my own name. So self dot is, so let's say that's 55. And if I now let me say you this is our attributes, and I'm going to make the method that is function, right? So, and we need to pass the argument self in this function. So self and print my name is, we need to provide the name that is self dot name, and the is, so this is another thing. So dot name, and the is self dot is. Okay, this much is the thing. So in order to create an object out of it, you need to give a variable. So let's say obj is an object that's been created. So let me student, this will create an object of class student, right? So obj is that name. So if we want to call this show function, what we need to do is that obj dot, and we need to show. Okay, we need to call that method. We need to give the object name, that's obj, and the method name, that is show. Okay, so if we run this function by just writing, we need to write down the Python, and we need to give the name of the file, that's class1.py. Boom, that's my name is Mohan, that's self dot name is Mohan, and self dot age is 55. Okay, so this is my code over here. So if I want to, so this is the code up to now. So let me, okay, here here the syntax of the class. Okay, I'll give you the syntax of the class. So let me write down the syntax of the class. As first of all, we need to give the class, and there will be the class name over here. So the class name in this one, okay, and then we'll write out code over here. Okay, so I'll just write as pass over here. And in order to make the objects out of this class, we need to give the name of the object. So obj is that object name, and we need to call that class name, and give that parenthesis. So you need to understand this much up to now. So if you have understood this much, then we are good to go in our next thing. This, I want to discuss a little bit about this init function. Okay, this is also known as a constructor. Okay, So this is known as this double score is also known as a donder method. Okay, so the self here the self is we can write anything other than self, but it is a common convention to write here self. You can write anything other than self also. Okay, you can try it out. So a self dot name is equal to Mohan, that will attach this object. Okay, so self is nothing but this object. This self will give me the current object. Okay, so self is nothing but it will contain the current object. Okay, so since I'm calling this show with this object obj, so this obj consists of self name as Mohan and 55. So if we print this giving this self as an argument, so it will print the name regard that is connected with that object. Okay, so self dot name and self dot object. So if this thing is not clear, let me go into further example. So let me go into another example. So let me make an same class. Okay, so let me make an same class, that's a student. Let me give the constructor. So the first argument will be the self. So and what I will do here is I will pass the argument the name and is while creating the object. Okay, after while creating that object, this function will run. Okay, so this function is nothing but to initialize the attribute or variable. Okay, so this will be self dot name is name, and the next one will be self dot is equal to is. So here this I'll give you this one also. So this is nothing but this this is method which is used to initialize the variable. Okay, so this is used to initialize the variable. So this is also known as attribute or variable. So this is attribute or variable. So here I want to discuss so what is this self is a default keyword. Okay, but this is not a reserved keyword, right? This is not the reserved keyword, and it contains what it contain is the current object. Okay, it always hold the current object in it. Okay, so from which object you are calling, the self will hold that object. Okay, so now I'll just provide as a make another method. So in method you should always pass that self here. So if I do print my name is, let me use the f string, my name is, that's a value that is as attached to my current object, current calling objects. Okay, self dot name, and my age is self dot age. Okay, so this is the thing. So I want to print, I also have this next function that is self, but okay, let me not make that method over here. So our first object, let me give that object name as r1. So we want to make the object out of this class, so we need to write the name of the class, that's student, and we need to call that, we need to make it by by writing this parenthesis. But here while initializing the variable, we are taking the name and age as a argument, so we need to pass it from here. So let me pass is name as Mohan and age as 55. So after running this code, this will initialize my object with this name variable with this Mohan and age as 55. Okay, so if I want to print the r1 dot if we want to see what is present in that attribute, so we just do r1 and we write dot and then we'll give the name of the attribute. So if we run this code, we need to see that the name as Mohan. Okay, so it's printing me Mohan and okay, then let me show you how to pass the argument in the function also. Okay, in the method also. Okay, so let me take the salary. So and my salary is self.salary. Okay, so in order to call this salary function, what we need to do is give the name of the object and the method that you want to call. Okay, so the method is detail, so detail detail, and you need to provide the salary. Let me say 20,000 is my salary. So if I call this thing, so it will print that my name is Mohan and my age is 55 and my salary is 20,000. Okay, so there is some error over here, salary, and we should not do it as self.salary but just salary. Okay, so if I run this code over here, so the name is Mohan, my age is 55 and my salary is 2000. Okay, so now again, if I want to create the next object out of this class, what you need to do is write the name of the object, then student, and we need to pass, let's say David, and his age is 35. Okay, so if I want to print the name of the name associated with that object r2, then we just run that code again, so we'll get the David over here. So and if I want to show the detail of that also, so let me have another function that's defined, so just so method so it will always take this self as an argument. So print my print, let me provide my name is self dot name and my age is self dot age only. Okay, so if I call that method by using this object, you will see that my name is David and my age is 35. Okay, so if I call this function, so my name is David and my age is 35, so that much is what we are looking for. So here now I want to, just for practice, I want to make a class known as shop. Okay, so in shop there are different objects, right? There may be book, pencil, stationery shop. Okay, book, pencil, or many other things. So while creating a function, while creating the class, I want to take the name of that object or name of the object as an argument. Okay, so if I want a book, so I want to take the name of the book as an argument and the price of that book as an argument, and the next thing I want to take is the quantity of that book as an argument. Okay, and while creating the class, I also want to make a method which is known as total price. So if I have let's say I have taken two books from that store, then the quantity will be 2, and let's say price of the book is 200, then 200 into 2, so I want the total price printed in my console also. Okay, so we'll make the method regarding that total class, and at last we want to add that discount method. So in certain product we want to give the 10% or 7% discount in that total price. So how to do that we'll see in this video. If you want to try it on your own, please pause this video and come after you have completed your task. Okay, so I will just begin doing making that class as a sub. We just provide the colon over here, then it will give you 4 space, so in itself. So we want the name of the book, so we want the price, and the last one is quantity. Okay, QTY I write as quantity. So in order to initialize that variable, we need to use self dot name as a name. What we have passed is it in argument, so self dot price as price, self dot qty quantity is as quantity. Now what I want is the total price. uh, Total price in method we will pass the self as an argument. Okay, so we'll print self as an argument. So in f string we will print the total price of, so we want the name relating to the current object, so self dot name is the total price is, so we need to multiply to find the total price, we need to multiply the price with the quantity. Okay, so self dot price multiplied with self dot quantity. Okay, so this much is okay for now. So in order to make let's say we make an book object, so we need to give the name of that class and give this parenthesis. In the parenthesis we need to pass the variables that we want to initialize at our, this is also known as constructor. So to initialize the variable names using constructor, you need to pass it while making that object. Okay, so sub in name we want to keep it as, let's say, book, right? Let's say the name is book, and let's say price is 200 and quantity is 9. Okay, so if I pass this thing it will happen nothing, since I need to call this total price using that object. Okay, book dot total price. If I pass this as an object, now I will see my name is, total price of book is, so 1800. Okay, so total price of book is 1800. So I want to make this code having the facility of doing calculating the discount also. So in order to give a discount to your customer, I will make that as a method. Okay, so let's say define uh, discount percent. I need to pass self, always remember this thing, and I need to pass the discount percentage. Okay, so I'll only write discount over there and I'll attach the object with this discount. So discount is equal to discount, so this self is connected to the current objects we are calling with, right? If we call book the total price, so this self is connected to this object. Okay, and to this book. Now what we have done is we have taken the discount as an argument while calling this method. Okay, so what I want to do is, one, this is my total price and I want to calculate the total price. Okay, so in order to calculate the total price, what I need to do is, one, minus self dot dot, and this will give discount. Okay, so this will give me the price after discount. Okay, so if I want to, there is no attribute. Okay, that's I need to pass first discount portion. So in order to call that, I need to give my object name first, and then discount percent second, and I want to give discount as 10%. So let me write it as 0.1. So this is a 10%. Okay, so after discounting that, what I am hoping is I will get 1800 minus 180, that will be 1720. Okay, so if I call this 1799, I'm getting, so this is definitely wrong. What I have done, this is I need to multiply it with this account. So if I run this, so I am getting 1620. Okay, okay, I was wrong in my calculation, so that's only 1620. So this much today for this class. So please practice this with other videos also. Please watch other videos and take a reference from all the resources that are present in YouTube and all those links. Okay, and try to try to come up with their own idea and with their own explanation for why we have done these things, what itself, why we are passing this argument, right? So come up with your own explanation, then I think you are good to go. You will grasp this concept of class with more ease. Okay, so this much for today. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask the questions in the comment section. So if you like my video, please do subscribe and like my channel. Okay, see you next time. Cheers.